This video talks about some heavy emotions, the kind that many of us carry but rarely say out loud. If at any point you feel triggered or uncomfortable, please pause, take a breath, and talk to someone you trust. Have you ever quietly wished you could just stop existing? Not in a violent or permanent way, but more like a vague, aching way, where you long to pause life for a moment. Maybe it's because of all the responsibilities piling up, the struggles to overcome self-doubt, or difficulties with relationships. Suddenly the thought of disappearing feels easier than carrying on. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's a desire that many of us have had at some point, but rarely talk about. To simply not be. Psychologists call this passive suicidal ideation, but that label can feel too clinical for such a tender and deeply human feeling. In this video, we'll explore the psychology behind this feeling, why it surfaces, and what we can do to cope with it. Why we feel this way. The desire to not exist often arises when we're running on empty. According to psychologists, our brains are wired to seek relief when overwhelmed. Research in clinical psychology review shows that this quiet desire often correlates with depressive symptoms, anxiety, and emotional fatigue. Dr. Thomas Joyner, a leading researcher on suicidal ideation, explains that passive thoughts of wanting to not exist are often triggered by emotional exhaustion, stress, trauma, burnout, and loneliness. It's your mind's way of saying, I'm carrying too much. I just need to stop for a while. The illusion of disappearing. When we imagine not existing, it can feel like the only escape from expectations, from the world, from even ourselves. And this isn't something unique to you. In Japan, there's a word, johatsu, that means evaporated people, those who quietly disappear to escape shame or unbearable social demand. At the time, the idea of ikigai, or a reason for living, reminds people to find meaning in their daily lives. Unfortunately, Japan and South Korea have some of the highest suicide rates globally. Yet, change is stirring. Japan has expanded mental health services, launched community-based programs, and even appointed a minister of loneliness to address the quiet epidemic of isolation. These efforts reveal something profound. The wish to disappear isn't weakness. It's the mind's way of crying out for rest, safety, and connection. And while the words might differ, whether you're in the US, Europe, Africa, or India, the feeling is the same. The human need to pause, to escape, to feel seen again. The psychology behind it. Psychologically, this desire can be linked to a number of cognitive and emotional processes. When someone feels overwhelmed, they may experience a type of cognitive distortion called catastrophizing, expecting the worst possible outcome and seeing no way out. This can lead to feelings of helplessness and hopelessness, both of which are strongly associated with the desire to escape reality altogether. Another would be depersonalization, feeling detached from yourself or your surroundings. Research published in Frontiers in Psychology found that people experiencing high stress or trauma often describe this sense of numb floating, wanting to unplug from themselves or the world. It's the brain's defense mechanism, trying to protect itself by shutting down excess stimulation. Coping with the weight. So, how do you cope? Remember, there is nothing wrong with you for feeling this way. The desire to not exist doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're human. Instead of shaming yourself or pushing the feeling away, try meeting it with gentleness. What helps most isn't forcing the heaviness to vanish, but finding small anchors that can steady you when life feels overwhelming. Psychologists often recommend these simple grounding strategies. Name it. Psychologists call this emotion labeling. Simply saying, I feel like I want to disappear, can ease the intensity. Naming a feeling externalizes it into something you can observe and not just experience. Micro rest. Physical fatigue fuels emotional fatigue, so give yourself permission to pause. Even taking 5 minutes to breathe, nap, or sit without judgment can often soften exhaustion. Sensory grounding. Notice the world around you. What do you see, hear, or feel right now? Anchoring yourself to your senses can pull you back from spiraling thoughts into the safety of the present. Journaling. Write down what's swirling in your head. Putting words to feelings often dulls their sharpest points, turning chaos into something your heart can hold more gently. Find one small thing. This strategy is based on behavioral activation, one of the most effective treatments for depression. Behavioral activation works by choosing small, meaningful actions that reconnect us to life. Play a favorite song, cook a delicious meal, care for your pet, take a walk somewhere nice. These little sparks remind you that life holds more than just heaviness. And connection, reach out for support. Talking to a friend, family member, or therapist can provide much needed perspective. Sometimes even a simple conversation can make all the difference, reminding you that you're still tethered to the world. These may seem simple, but these small acts of self-care, practiced consistently, can gradually make the heaviness more bearable. And if that quiet wish to not exist ever grows louder, know that there is no shame in reaching out. Therapy can be a safe place to set this weight down. Saying, "I don't want to be here" to a friend, therapist, or even an anonymous hotline is not weakness. It's courage, and it can be the first step back towards lightness. Support and resources. We know videos like this don't usually get promoted by YouTube's algorithm, but if something here spoke to you, we'd be grateful if you shared it or left a comment below. Sometimes the smallest words of support can mean everything to someone quietly carrying this weight. This video is supported by BetterHelp. If you've thought about therapy but didn't know where to start, visit betterhelp.com/psych2go or click the link in our description. It connects you with licensed counselors online, and it allows us to keep making videos that matter. For those who love someone. If you know someone who's also struggling with the desire to not exist, or if this video reminded you of someone you care about, know that you don't need to have all the answers to make a difference. What matters most is showing up and letting them know they are not alone. It might not feel like much, but to them, it could mean everything. The desire to not exist is not a permanent or defining part of who you are. It's a signal that your mind and body are overwhelmed, and it's important to listen to that signal with care. By seeking understanding, support, and strategies to cope, you can move past these thoughts and begin to heal. If you've ever felt this way, let this video be your reminder. You matter. And though you may feel invisible, there are people, even strangers, rooting for you. And if you or someone you love is struggling with thoughts of self-harm or suicide, please reach out to a mental health professional or crisis hotline. Help is real. Hope is real. You don't have to carry this alone.